As you saw in our last video, we sailed from Martinique to Grenada. We checked in and had our corona test done. Now it's time to explore. Let's get started. We are Rob and Michelle, and this is our 2001 Amel Super Marimu. Her name is Luna. Come along with us as we sail to new places. Grenada is known as the Isle of Spice, and it's located at the southernmost tip of the Caribbean islands. It's approximately 21 miles long and 12 miles wide. The capital and biggest city is St. George's.
Looking fashionably fabulous, honey.
New face mask finally. The day after quarantine, we set out to check out the town. We walked through the famous Sendell Tunnel, which was built in 1894. It was built as a shortcut so the horse carriages wouldn't have to go over the big hills to get from the harbor to the Esplanade, which is where all the markets and shops are. Now it's a one-lane road for cars and pedestrians. Just outside the end of the tunnel is the stairs that lead up to Grenada's oldest fort, Fort George. There were a lot more stairs than this, but I didn't film them for some reason. I think I was too busy dying.
Hi, honey. You made it up. Almost there.
Almost there. There was no one here, but the door is wide open. So we went in. Fort George was built in 1705 by the French. It was originally named Fort Royal, but changed to Fort George in honor of King George III when the British took possession of the island in 1763. The cast iron cannons are still in perfect working condition and are even sometimes fired off on special occasions. From the fort, you get a beautiful view of the quarantine anchorage and St. George's Inner Harbor. That's the Port Authority. There are no container ships unloading there today. And you can also see Port Louis Marina. And this little guy is called a mortar. It shoots an artillery shell really high so it can clear the fortress walls and hit the targets. It was extremely effective, and the technology was developed back in the 1700s. And now the Royal Grenada Police Force calls it home. Not sure what this structure was used for, but it's still pretty cool.
And good evening. Right now it's 6 o'clock. Your weather authority is very busy tonight. We are tracking Tropical Storm Gonzalo. It is expected to become a hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean.
This is windy.com. We usually use this to do our weather forecasting, and as well as a couple other websites. The Tropical Storm Gonzalo now coming through. We're going to do a little play on the video. This is Friday. Now what it's showing is the wind gust. Here you can see it moving up Saturday. So that's about 30 miles away from us. Then here in St. George's, we have close to about 23. Anytime a tropical storm or hurricane, your top quadrant here is always going to be the strongest. We'll just play this through. It looks like it's gone through just in a few hours. So then if we go back to just what the wind speed is. So as you can see today, we have very, very light winds. So what this tropical storm is doing right now. It's basically sucking all the wind out of the air. A little later, winds pick up. Now this is actual wind speed. Now here is the eye of the hurricane itself right here, but 10 to 15 miles out is always the strongest part of it, which is in red up here. So here we go, 30, 35 knot winds, which it's very good that this got turned on to a tropical storm. That's all it is. That's going to be a wonderful day. We're going to move our boat over the Marina and go get ourselves some good Texas barbecue. Believe it or not, in Grenada. Mark Clayton told me it's supposed to be good, so we'll see how that goes.
So we got a slip in the Port Louis Marina just in case. Better safe than sorry. Once we got docked, we put on these springs to protect against any surge that might happen during the storm. Then I decided to do a quick tour of the marina. Port Louis is a good-sized marina with 229 boat slips. And they even have a swimming pool. We'll be jumping in that later.
You know, I must be doing at least some decent barbecue with the smoker over there. Best meals we've had out in the Caribbean so far. Some of the fresh fish have been pretty good. Barbecue, that's my go-to favorite. I really hope it's as good as it smells out there. We'll see. Well, we got the fresh brisket. Got the smoker going here. What dish we got over here?
That is the sausage.
That's the sauce?
Chipotle, yes.
Oh, we got fresh smoked sausage. We got the ribs going on there. Oh, this looks like probably some of the best food we'll have in the Caribbean here. Are you part Texan?
No, I'm not.
But you got the recipe down good though.
Yes.
Ah, very good. Smells wonderful. We're very excited for our dinner.
Your first time?
First time here.
Welcome.
So I have a good friend of mine who was here 2 years ago.
Okay,
And
I told you about it?
He said, oh, he goes, I don't know if this place is still doing their Texas barbecue, but you have to come here for it. So,
Good.
oh, it looks good. It smells wonderful.
Okay.
And it looks, can't get any fresher.
And the food was wonderful.
Well, it turns out Hurricane Gonzalo is going to pass about 80 miles south of us. But
after the hurricane threat had passed, we felt ready to do some more exploring, so we hopped on a local tour to check out some sights. Our driver Nick showed us an almond tree. You can find the almonds on the ground. You just open up the hole and the nut is inside.
Oh, that little tiny thing.
oh yeah.
See.
There are traps. There are traps. Trees. That's a food flower.
The next stop was the Grand Etang Forest Reserve. Portions of this rainforest receive 120 inches of rainfall each year. That is the Grand Etang Crater Lake. It measures 37 acres and is formed by a volcanic activity that took place some 15 to 25,000 years ago. We drove over for a closer look.
You just...
See if you slip and fall on your butt.
Ah! You suck!
Our driver Nick stopped a few times to show us different things along the way. This is a nutmeg pod, and this is what's inside. Next, Nick picked a cocoa pod and opened it up. You can eat the cocoa straight out of the pod, but it tastes nothing like chocolate.
I bet you though.
Sour?
Sweet and sour. Right? So,
Our next stop was the Carlton Cocoa Processing Facility. They weren't processing any cocoa pods, just our luck.
Good morning.
Morning.
The farmer will crack the bean open, place it in plastic bucket containers. When the beans have been placed here, capacity to that height, about 3,000 pounds, would then cover with green banana leaves. Help the microbes to develop, so that will add or help the fermentation. And the beans will be very hot because of the metabolism, the rate of metabolism, the activities that takes place inside it creates this heat. So it will be very hot. After 8 days, the beans are properly fermented. The beans are very white. When you put it inside, it has this very white color. After 8 days, the white will turn into dark brown. And when the beans turn into dark brown, then it's ready, it's properly fermented, and it's ready for harvest. And it goes round and round. And the beans will be polished after 24 hours, and then placed on the outside, and we're going to keep outside. This machine is ancient, very old.
You pushed a lot of chocolate.
Bags are being sold, and we weigh up to 137 pounds per bag. This is about 66 point something kilos per bag. This now is ready for shipping to the commercial market. Now this is here what the beans is like. This is what the beans look like.
Now, I really want to see how these beans become chocolate bars. We grabbed some lunch and went to Pearls Airport. It is Grenada's first airport, now turned into a park. Here you'll find old planes like a Soviet crop duster and an old Cuban airliner. These planes have been here since 1983, when the U.S. Marines seized the parked aircraft. Now you're probably wondering why the U.S. invaded Grenada. It was triggered by a strike within the People's Revolutionary Government, which resulted in the house arrest and execution of the second Prime Minister of Grenada, Maurice Bishop. The U.S. and a coalition of 6 Caribbean nations invaded the island of Grenada. And there's a plaque in the courtyard of Fort George in remembrance of Bloody Wednesday, when Bishop and some of his cabinet members were executed. I think this poor sheep thought he was seeing an alien spaceship. A video is just not complete without a boat project because, well, there is always something to do. This time, one of our air conditioners stopped working. Out with the old and in with the new. So while these guys finish hooking up the new AC, I'll tell you about the upcoming videos. We'll rent a car and drive around the whole island with some friends. We go on a very muddy hike, go to a pig roast, tube down a river, and see how the West Indies Brewery makes their beer, and much more. So stay tuned.
So 8 hours working on the air conditioner with Kenny and his Hummer. Good. .64-degree air blowing, nice and fast. I'll take it. Get the rock star hairdo going now.
Don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button to see our future videos.